Ever since I was a teenager, I heard stories of people putting weird stuff in their windshield washer fluid reservoir and like pumping it up through a hose into like the vent and like pump out vodka or something through the vent in the car when they would press the button. And I've always been intrigued by that. And I've often wondered if we couldn't do that with some type of track prep, VHT, stripper glitter, pimp juice, whatever you want to call it. It may have to be diluted down, I'm not sure, but that's what this video is about. But what we have here, basically a cheap little washer reservoir pump deal from Amazon. Check it out. Comes with everything you need. The little reservoir already has the pump on it. Even get a cool little button in here. Your little spray nozzles. Here's one of the little spray nozzles here. I think this will work. If not, Amazon sells a bunch of these different kinds of nozzles you can get. And before you guys even mention anything about it's going to gum up or something like that, possibly, but we still have to try it. And if all else fails, we can at least spray water out of this and do a nice burnout in the street. So the way this is going to work in my head, at least. Oh yeah, by the way, this thing comes with a little bracket that you screw on, and I just screwed it right here. I'll show you guys that in a second. We're going to come out of our tank here to the center of the car, right inside, and then come out with a T and come down right in front of the rear tires and pop out one of these little sprayers. That's how I think it's going to work. If this won't pump out the stripper glitter or whatever we have on hand, then hell, I don't know. Put some grape soda and some sugar in it. These are thin little wires. You shouldn't even need a relay or anything. Should just be able to run this straight to the fuse box with a switch to interrupt the signal. This is where our T will go. And then it's going to go up in the car. I'll attach it somehow to the floor, run one over to this side of the car, one over to that side of the car, and I'm going to find a nice spot, drill a hole probably in the wheel well somewhere, and figure out how to put this thing. Got a change of plans on this, and I've already done one side. I'll show you what we got. So I think I'm going to mount this container right here. Here's why. This particular pump is a free-flowing pump. So in other words, when you put water or anything in here, it just automatically wants to run out. This line needs to be higher, or either the tank needs to be lower than where it comes out in the floor, and that's where I've got it at for right now. I'll show you guys how I did that. Now this looks like hell right now, but I think I can make it look pretty good. And you know, this is just a fun little project, so you know, you guys don't give me too hard of a time on whether it's going to work or not. This little pump probably won't even keep up with what we're trying to do, but it's worth a try. For testing purposes at the moment, what we're going to do is hook up this little 11-volt battery right here to this pump, and I'll show you guys how this sprays out. Now I will tell you that ideally this does not spray out the way I want to. It's just two streams, so we're going to have to come up with a different sprayer nozzle setup. But for right now, we'll show you what we got. All right, so you can see that that's not ideal for what we're trying to do here. Leave it hooked up. But the good thing with this is you can alter the way this sits, but ideally that's not really that good. So here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to match it up to the other side. About the same spot here. Seems to be about right there. The issue that I'm running into is if I just put this flat like this, it's going to spray all in here. It's not going to be very good. So this needs to be tilted out. In other words, instead of spraying straight down, it needs to be slightly tilted. Best way to do that is take a nut, grind it down at an angle, tack weld it on. Now, as you can see, you've got a nut that is ground down to an angle. Now, I understand not everybody has a welder, so, you know, you could epoxy that, come up with something a little different, but I'm going to weld it. Screw this thing in, and that's it, y'all. Both sides are done. So I'm going to go hook the battery up and see if this thing squirts out. A little adjustment.
It's better.
All right, y'all, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the tire on this thing. We'll get it on the ground and see if it actually sprays. Come on now, that's a good little puddle. That's a very good puddle, and I like it. Let's test this thing out. So we got our little apparatus back here just chilling. It's probably gonna fall over, honestly. It's not bolted down yet. And I've got a little button here that we can press, and we're gonna go see what happens. So here's what we're gonna do, y'all. I'm gonna kind of hit the button, poke my head out, see what it's doing. I'm gonna see how much I need to spray so that I can do it, if I can do a burnout or not. So tell me when you think it's enough. Okay.
I think you just jump over the water.
Yeah, the idea of this is absolutely going to work. You can see how this will work. The problem is with a 5-speed car, I probably should have backed up a little bit and then did my burnout, because when you first hit it, the car is going to want to jump. But with that being said, you can see right here where the tires were wet. So I'm not going to play around in my driveway anymore. I mean, you guys get the idea of it. I will say though, I think it needs to be sprayed and probably back up, or either roll your tires. An automatic car is not going to have this problem. An automatic car, you can just inch up a little bit, hit it. But there again, unless you got a line lock, you're going to struggle with it. But the concept 100% works. Look at this. That's water right there, guys. So I think we can improve on it. Any of you guys want to kind of take on this challenge of making this better, you could use a fuel cell with a little inline pump and use AN line or vacuum line or anything else and make it actually like pump a lot. I'd like to see one of you guys try that as well. And I don't know, we'll see where this goes, but I'm gonna call that a win. Maybe even hold the button while you do your burnout. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna wrap this one up, y'all. And as always, thanks for watching.